What up? This is Zach, and there is nothing more frustrating than creating a character and doing all this work and then your character not working. So I've decided to make this series where we talk about the base classes in D&D and how they work as a whole. So I'm just going to break down a couple of different things with each class that is in the base class, no subclasses or anything, and talk about how to make them work as a whole. So hopefully we don't have to wonder why our games aren't being fun and we just know how to do it. So hopefully we can make this a little bit easier for everyone and we can have fun games in D&D. All right, let's talk about why Barbarian is so dope. And as always, we are going to split this into two parts. The first part being the Barbarian in combat, and the second part being the Barbarian outside of combat. Alright, to start off, the Barbarian inside of combat. First off, the Barbarian has one of the highest hit die in the game, meaning it's going to have the most HP out of all of the classes. As long as you prioritize having good HP. I think even if you don't invest in your constitution with that high hit die, you are going to have a very large HP regardless, but once you invest in your constitution, you are going to have a ridiculously high HP. And right from the get-go, you get unarmored defense, which will allow you to have a AC of 10 plus your dexterity modifier plus your constitution modifier. So why not boost that constitution modifier as much as you can, because it's going to boost your AC and boost your HP all in one, modifier. You also get your ability to rage at level 1, and what this will do is, as a bonus action, you can enter a rage for 1 minute, and while you are raging, you will be able to do more damage as long as you're using strength as your modifier to do that damage, and that will grow as you level. You will have resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage, and you'll have advantage on your strength checks and strength saving throws. Starting at level 2, you will get Reckless Attack, which will allow you to use a bonus action to make it so that you have advantage on all your strength-based attacks for the turn. And advantage is when you roll the dice twice and take the better of the two rolls. So when you use Reckless Attack, it's going to be more likely that your attacks hit. And even with these first two levels, we've already talked about 3 separate ability modifiers, that being Strength, Dexterity, and Constitution. And because of that, I think it can be confusing on what to prioritize when building your character. And what I would prioritize is Constitution first, because Constitution is going to give you a higher AC and more HP. Second, I would prioritize Strength, because it's going to give you more damage with your weapons. And then third, Dexterity, because it's going to boost your AC further. And the reason I say Constitution first is because right at level 2 you get that Reckless Attack, so you're not going to have as much of an issue hitting the creatures that you'd want to be hitting because you're getting advantage on all those attack rolls when you're using that Reckless Attack. And you're already getting bonus damage as you're raging anyway. So prioritize a little bit of defense at the beginning, and then you can focus all out on your attack. That being said, after you've built the Barbarian the way you like it, just prioritize hitting as many things as you can and use that Reckless Attack to get advantage on hitting as many things as you can. But yeah, make sure that you have it built in a way where you're going to do damage and you're going to have a lot of HP and defense. That being said, your game plan during combat is going to be to rage as soon as possible. Once you're raging, attack as many people as you can and use Reckless Attack, that bonus action to do Reckless Attack as much as you can so you can get advantage on all of those attacks. Another tip I would say is to just focus on the biggest creature that can deal the most damage and try and keep its attention on you, because if you're keeping its attention on you, it's not going to hit anyone else in your party, and you have the highest HP, and you have a bunch of different ways, depending on subclasses, to reduce your damage more when you take damage while you're raging. So yeah, the Barbarian in combat. Let's go ahead and move on to the Barbarian outside of combat. The Barbarian outside of combat's pretty easy. You only wait for combat. I'm just kidding. Most of the features that you have as a barbarian are specifically geared towards combat, but there's a couple of things we can do outside of combat that will benefit your party in a pretty cool way. So we already talked about rage, but one of the main features you get from your rage is the ability to get advantage on your strength checks and advantage on your strength saving throws. So if you ever need to do anything that requires a strength check, such as lifting a stone, breaking a door, anything like that, you're going to be, the best person to do it. A good way to look at it is if your party can't get past an obstacle using spells or using their skills, go ahead and just Hulk out and break things and throw a tantrum. Also, I know I've said this a lot, but you have a ton of HP, so if you're the first one to go into a trap, you're probably not going to be the one who dies from that trap. So you just need to be very aware of how much HP you have and what you can do because of that. You can get away with a lot of just breaking things with your strength, and then with your HP and AC, you can get away with, I'm just going to walk through the trap. So to sum things up for a barbarian outside of combat, basically if other people can't come up with a solution, use your brute strength and your high constitution and HP just to barrel through it. That being said, the barbarian is extremely fun to play. When you're battling, rage, attack everything. Easy peasy. And most likely outside of battle, somebody will be like, hey, we need a strong person, and that is going to be your job. Thanks for watching. If there's anything I missed, go ahead and throw that down in the comments. Like, subscribe, and yeah, D&D is dope.